The most cattle ever killed by lightning is 68, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. Okay. All right.
Those guys track
listen. There are other reports of lightning apparently striking many types of animals, including 53 pigs, 143 goats in China, 16 bulls in Scotland, a giraffe in Disney World. And
that's sad.
Oh, listen to this. 2 bolts of lightning in Utah killed 654 sheep.
So it's not that weird of a thing then, is what you're saying.
Listen to this. This is interesting. Lightning is dangerous as well to people as well. In June of this year, more than 70 people in India were killed by lightning. Is that at one time?
That can't be at one time. But they do pack them in pretty tight in India. There's a lot of folks there. Dude, so I'm in the super secret, I probably shouldn't say exactly what it is, but I'm in a very secretive, highly selective Facebook group of ministers from our brotherhood, right? Highly selective. Right. You're probably in it, but
I'm probably not in it.
No, they don't play with you. Anyway, I post on there a little bit earlier tonight. It's like, who's producing podcasts? Let me know so I can add you to my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can.
They were like,
follow you.
"What's a podcast?" What did they say?
Dude, I've only had 3 responses so far, and do you know what they all are?
What?
They're all links to their sermons. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I do not look at sermons as a podcast. Is that just me? Am I being like a snob or something? What's going on?
Well, I don't think you might be a little bit of a snob.
Yeah.
But I don't think they do like what we do. Like, I don't think a lot of guys do this, you know? Or even like some of the guys you listen to, they don't have like, they have their sermon, but then they don't do anything in addition to that, like recording or talking with somebody else or interviewing other people. I don't think they do a whole lot of that. So, and if they do, it's not a regular basis type thing. Like, I don't think there's a lot of guys out there like you and I. So,
see, that's what I'm saying. Why isn't there? There's like literally a million podcasts that you can listen to.
Yeah.
Why aren't there more, or why is it so hard to find a couple of folks with a similar background to us or a theological point of view? Why aren't there more people doing it?
Well, we just started doing it, so it's not like, you know, we're like really
but
that far ahead of them.
We're not cutting edge individuals either, are we, Justin?
We kind of are, according to what you just said. Now we are
apparently in our little niche. Yeah, we're cutting edge, but being cutting edge amongst the slowest group of people in the world doesn't make you very cutting edge.
That's true. That's true.
You know it's true. You know, there's a definite sense in which we like sort of sit back and we're playing
catch up. That's what we do
all the time. When is the last time you saw a really innovative thing come out of the independent Christian church movement?
Oh no, I don't know, like what I would consider innovative and everything like that. You know, like when they were like, "Hey, let's go do like a baptism at the beach." Like you talked about, like that's like the extent of it. Baptism at the beach.
That's not innovative, man. The church in my town, they've been the Way Hispanic ministry. They do that. They've been doing that for 20 years, man. Not innovative. Don't count.
That's not innovative. But then again, ours
by necessity. So
they don't have a baptistry. If we had one, we wouldn't do.
We've even volunteered ours and say, "Hey, you can use ours anytime you want." And they're like, "Nah, we like it at the beach now."
Yeah.
Maybe if you had asked 20 years ago, we'd have been for it, but no.
Yep, no.
So anyway, why isn't anybody else doing this? Is it because it's so wildly unpopular? Is that why?
Yeah, no, it's so wildly popular, then that's the reason why they're not doing it.
All right.
Yeah. Not to mention, here's the other thing too. Like, I think that you and I are kind of doing something that's very unique. Like, in a sense, within like our intention with this podcast was one thing, and then it evolved into what we're doing now, which is basically 2 guys that just so happen to be preachers talking about anything and everything,
right.
shedding, having a good time, laughing, making fun of stuff. And I don't know, like, if your typical, like, independent church preacher is really, like that. Like, I don't know if they're just, like, I don't know if they're like that.
Then what are they like?
I don't know. Not like that. I don't know.
Not like that?
I don't know the answer to that.
I'm going to be extra independent now.
Yeah.
I'm the most independent.
I'm like the most independent of all the independents.
That's right. I'm so independent, I don't even know what those other guys are doing.
Yeah. I just don't know if, like I said, like, because that's the one thing that Dana said to me, like, when we started doing this, he's like, man, I had never heard of anything like this. He's like, what you guys are doing.
He's like, I don't know if it's good or bad or what. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely different. It's
definitely something no one else is doing. Like, nobody, no other preacher is doing, like, a goofy, let's just say it's kind of like a comedy type thing. No other preacher is doing something like this because I don't know if they think that way. I don't know if they think and engage in the culture that way. I think they have like a set mindset about how they engage their culture and how they do stuff, and it just doesn't click that way, you know. And they don't go, oh yeah, it's okay for me to be funny. It's okay for me to go joke around. It's okay to me to say something maybe a little controversial or you know, make fun of something, or just go off and do whatever.
Talk about Santa Claus as being a villain. I mean, we could.
Yeah. And so I don't think, like, you and I's minds work very differently than most people's minds. You know, I get, you know what, I'll say this way, I get this a lot where they're just like, when they're like, hey, you're the preacher. I'm like, yeah, you know, they're like, really? Like, I get guys that are like, man, you are not like any other preachers I've ever met, which I take as a compliment, you know.
The comb over.
I think it's a comb over. I think it has more to do with the beard because I'm pretty sure most preachers have comb overs.
Yeah, you're right. It's called the preacher comb over for a reason.
Yeah. So, but like, right. I get that. I get that said to me like a lot, and so I think it's one of those kind of things where you're just like, you know, there's not a lot of people that like kind of think outside the box. And for me personally, I'm like sitting here going, okay. Well, the other thing, like we're like getting a lot bigger into social media and everything, and we're starting to use that to reach out. You know, the goofy welcome to church videos that I do. I kind of feel like that's a little innovative because it's not like a serious, you know, like, hey, but it has some serious tones in it, and I'm making people laugh, and it's like I've had that where, you know, people in our church said, hey, you know, my sister or my friend watches your, you know, welcome to church video and they really like it. You know, they think they're hysterical and everything. They're really good, you know, and but it's just like something little that like I do. That's kind of how I do it now, you know, and it's, you know, with between this and those, and now we do the video sermons online. It's just kind of, I think it kind of brings it all together. It's like we have a YouTube channel now that we're using, and now all welcome to church videos go through YouTube. So for me, I'm looking at it that way, going, all right, this is something a little different that we can kind of set ourselves apart from maybe other people and the way they do stuff. And
are the other churches in your area not doing that stuff?
No, I mean, they'll do the sermons recorded online. Well, they'll do that. That's what every church does. Every church does that. But I don't see too many doing podcasts, and I don't see too many doing like I said, the little 1 to 1.5, maybe 2 minute videos that I do. Like, I haven't seen anything like that, you know?
Because I would think that'd be more popular.
I don't see anything like that.
It's not super, you don't have a production background, but you're able to generate it, and they look pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just on my phone.
Yeah,
it's just...
I don't understand why it's not happening more.
I don't think, and that's the thing, I don't think that, like, for me, one of the things that I guess that connects with me is humor is really huge for me. And I try to, you know, and I like to have a good time. I like to laugh, and it's, you know, laughter is a gift from God. And so, like, I sit there and I think, you know, like what'll happen is, like, I'm writing a sermon. Like last week, I wrote a sermon and I was talking about the Beatitudes and everything. And I was talking about purity, you know, blessed are the pure in heart, you know, for they will see God. And it's that picture of, you know, those that are pure are choosing. Like, if you go through life not choosing purity, it's like going through life blindfolded. Like, because how many times have you heard somebody who has fallen in the purity area going, man, I didn't see that coming. You know, that kind of mentality. And so, like, I was sitting there and I wrote that whole thing out and I go, blindfolded. And then I thought to myself, you know, that would make a really funny video. What if I did the entire video blindfolded? You know? And so the one that I'm going to make, that I made already last week, which is, I'll tell you something funny about that, but the one I made last week was based off that. I made 2 videos last week, and this one that I'm doing is basically, the whole thing is blind. Like I say, hey, you know, if you don't pursue a life of purity, it's like going through life blindfolded, you know? And then I go, why don't we do a video like that? Click, and I had blindfold on. I'm staying sideways. I'm talking, not into the camera. It's everywhere. I'm just all over the map. Like, it'll cut, and I'm over here. I'll cut. I'm over here. It's cut. I'm stumbling over something, you know. And the whole point is, you know, it creates like this visual picture and everything going, yeah, it doesn't work out too well. And the picture's not so great. And he's all over the map and everything. And so, yeah, I get the illustration. And so the way I kind of feel is like I like to use stuff like that just to get you to think, make you laugh. And that's really what I want to do. And I think preachers are really good at it in sermons. I think they can be really good at it in sermons, but I don't know they figured out how to translate it into other things outside of Sunday morning. Because for me, I'm sitting there going, okay, I can do this stuff on Sunday morning, and I can connect to them. I can make a spiritual connection. I can use humor, and that's fantastic. But what if I did this? Because what if there's people out there that don't go to church? And what if there's people that, you know, won't sit through a 30-minute sermon, you know, online even, you know? What if I can give them something just little to make them think and make them laugh? And it can make a difference that way. Maybe it entices them to say, hey, you know, maybe church isn't totally boring, and maybe, you know, people, you know, Christians aren't. No, it's boring. Wait, it is boring? Okay.
Well, when I do it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Well, extra boring. We
super
like to sit
extra
back
boring. No. So, but I don't think preachers really necessarily think that way. I don't think they're like, let's see how we can engage the culture outside of our church walls. Yeah. And so that's why I even title the videos "Welcome to Church." Yeah. You know, I say, hey,
so your whole mentality is that this is for somebody else.
Yeah, maybe you don't go to church. Yeah. Yeah, and I've had really good responses on them. I did one on the election just recently, and had a young man engage me on that, telling me that I was way off and that I didn't help him at all, because I basically said, you know, hey, we got some pretty garbage choices, and the thing we need to worry about is this, you know, no matter who is elected, God is in control, and God is sovereign, and God is, you know, and so that was basically the whole premise of this thing, you know, and it was fun going. I don't know if you saw it, but it was fun kind of going back and forth. I
didn't see it. I'm gonna go look for it though.
Yeah, you go later. But it's basically like, okay, you know, hey, so it's election. Who are you gonna vote for? You know, so let me see if I can help you out. So and I always have like, and this is something that people have been asking me about too, is like, you know, who are you talking to? Because I'll look off camera and like as if I'm talking to somebody, and then I'm like,
yeah, but nobody's there because you're doing it by yourself.
Doing it by myself. So like, yeah, it's yeah. You gotta watch the one I did. You gotta watch the one I did about happiness this last week that I posted, because like at the end of it, like I'm not gonna tell you, but I look at the person at my fake person off
your
of the camera.
Your imaginary friend. I'd like to think that you're looking at me.
Yeah. It's like you. It's like you're there, Martin. Imagine you're there. So, but like I do that a lot, but it's one of those things. Like I say, all right, so who do we get to vote for? He says name. I said, okay, who else? And then I hear another name. You don't hear anything. I hear and then I go, okay, who else we got? And then he goes, and then I go, really? That's it? That's all? That's all we have to choose? And then I'm like, what happened to this one guy?
Supreme. What happened to him?
Yeah. I go, what happened to and I was like, what happened to the guy with the funny nose? You know, I was like, you know, Cruz. And oh, really? He dropped it. Oh, what happened? What about the guy that said he was going to run last election? He's out too, huh? You know, and so like just builds up, and I'm like, and then I'm like, I thought Trump was a Democrat. You know, that's what I actually say that. I thought he was actually a Democrat. You know, and I said, I thought she was in jail. You know, that's what I said. For some kind of email scam. No. I'm like, she got off? He's like, yeah. So I'm like, it's like me kind of playing up. I didn't know what everything was going on. Yeah. And then so at the end I go, hey, listen, this is what you need to know. no matter what happens, God's in control. And that we don't have to live in fear based off what man does, because, that's what we need to know. And then I had some kid, not tear me up. He was really nice about it, but he was like, that doesn't help at all. He goes, I was like, well, wasn't intended to be a practical advice on how to vote. If you like practical advice on how to vote, this is what I say. You choose whichever candidate holds your values closest to you, and then you vote for them. That's what I tell you. All right? Like, I'm not going to tell you who you need to vote for. I'm going to tell you, listen, you got to have your value system, and you got to look and line it up with whoever is running and say, this is what they say, this is what I believe, and if they say this, that they believe this, and I believe this is how I need to vote. But yeah, I've had some engagement on that, and it's pretty fun. So,
nice.
But yeah, I think, like, I don't know why they don't. I think it's I don't know. It's a fear factor type thing. They don't know what to do about it. They don't know how to engage it. There are some churches that do like there's a church down here that does like a round table thing where it's like 4 ministers talking about like the sermon that you just had, the topic.
Yeah. And
so I think that's pretty innovative. I think that's pretty good. I've watched those a few times. And sometimes they're pretty funny too. They can be really entertaining. Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't think the vast majority of them think outside the box, number one. And I think number two, this is going to sound really bad. I don't know if a lot of them are really actually very creative either. That might be probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. How creative you got to be. I mean, this.
Yeah, well, you know what? Like, for you and me doing this right here, we realize what goes into it. We realize that, and it's really you and I just having some fun and talking and everything like that. Right. But I don't know if the vast majority of preachers think that way. And they don't think like, hey, this will be something good to do. This will be something beneficial. I don't think they think that way at all. I think they just like, they're in that mindset of what church is and what it should be. And then that's what they do. And so, for me, like already from this podcast, I've had people come to this church because of this podcast and that are actively involved right now.
Yeah.
I've had people that are...
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I have people
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. I've had people that watch the little videos and they're like, hey, that's really awesome. I like that. They've told their friends. And like my wife said that, sometimes, some of my friends from school watch your welcome to church videos and everything. And then like the other day, like, and it's one of those things, like for me, like I was at Wednesday night, I was at the youth group and I was meeting with some people. And then afterwards, the kids are all out there playing and everything. And I'll walk out there and I'm, interacting with them, talking with all the kids. And there's 2 new kids there. And then, I get introduced to them and I say, how you doing, man? And he goes, I'm doing great. And I says, pleasure to meet you. And I go, welcome to church. This is exactly what I said, And it's funny because like one of the kids, one of the young ladies there, she goes, he said, welcome to church. That's funny. And I'm just like, I'm like, welcome to church, man. And, because that's kind of the mentality that we're trying to build.
That's going to be your new catchphrase.
Yeah. I was like, here's your sign or, the redneck
thing. Oh, that dog of mine.
Yeah. You're a redneck. And then I'm all like, welcome to church. I do say that. I sometimes I say that like whenever something happens during the sermon, somebody says something like, welcome to Northeast. I always do that. And so, that's us. So.
It just surprises me that as far as the technology that's required, you already have all the technology that's required, right? If you have a computer and you can download the audio software for free, I use Audacity, which is free audio editing software to do our whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And we spend a little bit of money on it because this is our hobby, but we don't have to. We were free for a long time in the beginning.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the thing that just blows me away is like, I don't understand why more people aren't doing it, because there's a built-in audience of folks who will listen to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's so.
They might not listen to the whole thing, but they'll check it out, and they'll. Yeah.
Look, if you look at our page, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of our episodes, we don't get a whole lot of people to listen to them. right? Most of our episodes are rather low. But we've got one that we've had thousands of people listen to. I mean, that's more people than you and I normally reach on a given week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. So, but there's one for some reason that's really popular, and I've tried to duplicate it with the with the tags and everything. I've tried to do all sorts of stuff to get other people to get the other ones listened to more. But that very first one where we did the dad fail as a separate thing, that gets listened to all the time. That gets listened to hundreds of times every month. So
I don't get it.
I don't get it either, and I don't know, but I'm happy that it's.
We might need to start bringing back the dad fail. Yeah, we might have to start bringing that back. So, yeah,
but yeah, it just it blows me away that you have this opportunity that really doesn't take a ton of effort. It took us a little trial and error to figure out what worked for us, right?
Yeah.
But after we did it for about a month, we pretty much have the same sort of thing going on.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's mostly us just talking about what's going on, making jokes, and occasionally have a little segment that's seasonal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we do that.
And that's what we do. And it didn't take long to figure out, and once we figured it out and got it going pretty well, I mean, then we had something. And I would really like to be able to interact with more folks who are interested in the same subject within our faith group, right? Within our very, very small brotherhood or whatever. I just think that would be cool.
Yeah, but don't.
Nobody else that I'm finding in our brotherhood is doing it. And there's other folks from other denominations and that sort of stuff who are all over this medium.
How come I'm not in this Facebook group? That's what I'm wondering. Is it because I'm not? Am I not cool enough? Am I not cool enough? And then I'm gonna blow them up with like, get on the ball, guys. You know, you need to.
It's not that. It's okay. I'm gonna tell you something here, and hopefully Sean Smith doesn't get offended. It's just okay. The Facebook group is just okay. It's not like It's not like we're pulling great stuff out of there. It's mostly questions about are we young Earth? Should we be a young Earth creationist or an old Earth creationist or do the gap theory? That's like the biggest thing that I've seen in there. And my whole thought on those issues is, why do you even care? Those issues are that stuff doesn't even matter. Who cares about the age of the Earth? Have you talked to somebody who was seriously doubting their commitment to the Bible or to the Lord because of the age of the Earth? Have you ever talked to somebody who was like that?
No, I have not.
I've never talked to a single person like that. The only person who ever said anything to me about a daggone dinosaur was like a little kid, and it's because he loved dinosaurs.
I love dinosaurs too. I don't understand what dinosaurs this whole thing. Cool. They are cool. They're very cool, man. I'm all about the dinosaurs. They're pretty awesome, I think. So
it just frustrates me a little bit because it seems like we're so far, like as a movement, that we are always behind the 8 ball. We're always playing catch up.
Yeah.
We're never terribly innovative, which is messed up because we have more freedom because we don't have a denominational structure that's ruling over us. We have more freedom to do all sorts of things.
Yep.
But we don't, for some strange reason. Can you explain to me why we don't?
No, I don't know the answer to that. I'm doing everything in the way I can.
I'm doing everything I can.
I'm doing everything I can, Martin. I don't know what you want me to do. I let me just give you an example. Like the reason why I am sitting here going, the reason why I do all this stuff, and because like you said, like for example, that dad fail thing, got it has thousands of friggin' views and everything like that. It gets to watch 100, listen to 100 times a month, and so at least I feel like there's when we kind of think like inside the box and we don't try to reach out. Like all my welcome to church videos, like I'm looking at like the voting one that I just did, and I have 601 people reached on it, and I have 254 views.
There you go.
Yeah, I have a church that's like this last month we averaged 145. This month we averaged a church, and so but there's another 100 out there that watch this
that
video.
are seeing your material, right?
Seeing the material and learn. Like, for example, my sermon, the first sermon that I put out there, had 390 reached. All right? I don't have that much in my church. Okay? 390 reaches. All right? My last video, 101 reaches. Okay? That didn't, I guess it wasn't as funny. Okay? But whatever. Okay? But like, the sermon that I put out yesterday, 167 reaches. You know?
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, they do, like, you know, it's a way of reaching out, it's a way of connecting, and like, and this is the thing too, like, the more you put out stuff like that, for me personally, what I see, the more we put out stuff that's like that, the more they start looking at other things. Like, for example, you know, I put out this thing, you know, hey, our pastor Justin Larkin is going to be speaking at, you know, men's breakfast at this church. 247 people reached on that. We wouldn't get that if we weren't doing any of the other stuff. And let me just say this is all organic. This isn't boosted. You know, I like to start doing that. I want to start doing that, and I'm going to get a budget for that. But this is all organic, you know? And so, like, I'm not paying for any of this. And it makes a difference, you know, because people do social media. That's just the way it is, you know? And so the ones that I get the most out of are the videos. You know, I get the most out of videos. And so that's what's reaching people. And so if it helps people to connect, if it helps people to do, you know, something a little different, you know, maybe see God, then, man, I'm going to do whatever I can. It's just, I think that we're so far behind the 8 ball that, you know, as our I guess our denomination is, I said it's a denomination.
Don't say it, Justin.
I said it.
Don't like that. Don't say that.
And so it's so bad that we're so far behind it that it's just, they struggle, you know, to kind of get out in front. And so, but, you know, I don't know. I don't know what the answer to it is other than, like, people saying, hey, it's time to do something different.
Welcome to Intermission. Intermission.
Dave Ramsey says, you know, doing the same thing over and over again, getting the same results is the definition of insanity. He's just quoting somebody else, you know, but that's my source and everything. But I'm like, yeah, that's right. You know, and so I think the same thing goes for the church. You know, when we do the same thing over and over again, getting the same results, it's kind of crazy. And we should really try some new stuff. And we have all the technology to do it, and it's really not that expensive. You know,
no, it's not.
Like, for example, all right, I got a funny story to go with this too. Okay, but I think you're gonna like it. But like, for example, like, we got this new camera for the church. It's literally like, fits in my palm. It's a itty bitty little camera. It sits on my front row at the church, like in between some chairs. We put like reserved signs next to on each chair to kind of keep people away from it so they don't touch it. It sits in between there, and it records our sermons now. And it cost me, $300, and because it was a prototype, and it goes for $400 to $500 now. Yeah. Okay, but I pre-ordered it because I saw the technology. I was like, dude, this looks really good, and I think this might be something that we can use. But literally, it's really good. Like, you know, when you see some of the videos, like, it's not like perfect. It's not super, super professional, but it's actually really, really good for what I'm using, for what I want to accomplish. And, you know, for a smaller church that's wanted to put this out there and get their sermons out there like in that medium, it's perfect for us. And so we go ahead and we get it and we put it up there and everything, and it does what we wanted it to do. All right. Interestingly enough, it has like this mode in it where, like, you can select like a face. You can select somebody's face, and it follows you. Now, like I said, it's just like this technology it automatically follows you. It's gonna grow, okay, and it's not bad, but it's not really great. You know, it kind of jumps a little bit and it tracks you maybe a little too much, I think. And so, but like, that's what we use, and it's so easy to do it. Like, literally, Dana sits on the back with his iPhone, which pretty much everybody has an iPhone, hits the record button, and it goes. You know? And for the first 2 weeks, it followed me. Now I'm going to have to change it up. We're not going to be able to do that anymore.
No, you're not going to have it follow your face no more?
No, because it wasn't following my face.
No? It was following the beard.
It wasn't following the beard.
It saw the beard and it was like, that's the one I want.
Apparently, this is what you're going to love this, man. Dana was like, so like, I select your face, and it's like a little yellow box that goes over my face. And so the box moves with my face, and so that's where the camera goes.
Facial recognition
thing. It's the way you put your finger on my face, and it pops a little yellow thing up there, and it's done. And so like he would do it. He's like, I put it on there, and it's following you just fine. And all of a sudden, it jumps to another part of your body. I'm like, what part of the body did it jump to, Dana? Your groin.
Oh.
So like this last week's sermon, it was tracking my groin, and I was like,
nice.
That's awkward. And so
it's not awkward for you, but it's awkward for everyone watching.
Well, no one else can tell. No one else can tell that it was tracking my groin because it just like the picture didn't change or anything like that. It was like it was tracking my face the entire time, but I'm like, it's a big difference there, you know? But Dana knew because he's back there and he's watching. He's watching it. He's watching this little yellow box jump from my face to my groin, to my face to my groin. It's following my groin around, you know? And I move to the left and it follows my groin. And he's just like, dude, it just kept following your groin. I don't know what's going on. So we're going to stop with the whole following my groin thing for the time being. Okay? I just kind of am like, let's just not.
Hold off on that one for a little bit?
Yeah, let's hold off on the whole groin following, because it was a little awkward. So,
just a touch.
Yeah, but, hey, for the right price, for a very reasonable price, you can get a camera that'll follow your groin while you're preaching. And I don't know why more preachers aren't buying into this.
You really don't know? Maybe he had it set on paparazzi mode. That was the problem.
That's what it was. Paparazzi mode. That's really funny. That's funny. So, but yeah, I don't know what the answer to your question is, but come on, peeps.
And another thing from Facebook popped up on me. Now, this didn't happen in any of the groups that I'm in. It happened in one that I was used to. You know Sean Smith. He's been doing the bald prophet thing.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's fun.
Which is the satirical posts. Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah. And, did somebody not like it?
He wrote, not him, one of the other people who write for it, wrote this really funny article about how somebody was protesting Cincinnati Christian University getting a football team. Somebody was, a magazine, conservative magazine, was protesting it by sending streakers to their first game. And the joke is that the Christian Restoration Association sent a streaker to run around on the football field, disrupting the game. Did you read that one?
I saw the title of that, and I was like, "Oh, okay. I gotta read this. I gotta read this because it looks hysterical."
Funny, right?
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Okay, I saw that. That one made me laugh out loud, and I shared it because I thought it was so funny. Well, anyway, Sean posted that in one of the private ministerial groups.
Yeah.
Whatever. He posted that in there, and I guess I'm not in that group anymore because I was fighting with people in there.
You were?
Do it. And, oh yeah.
Which one? I want to be in a fighting one.
It's the ICC ministers group.
I don't know what that is.
So ICC is Independent Christian Churches. Just search the group and ask to join. You'll hate it, but it's terrible. It's a bad group. But anyway, he put that in there, and immediately, I guess, people started complaining to him and didn't think it was funny and thought it was disrespectful and churlish and unnecessary.
They use churlish?
I don't know.
It's disrespectful and churlish.
Right. So he sends me a message. He's like, "Are you still in this group? Because these guys, this place is going nuts. Because I guess they're just turned into a big argument or whatever over this joke. It's a joke. And here's my question to you, Justin: why can't anyone take a joke?
Dude,
what is the problem with all these people?
That's the answer to your first question. the first question about why we're not innovative and why we're not, because we can't take a joke.
We were like, can't take a joke?
Yeah, we can't. Like, I really think that's the end. Like, you just can't. Why can't people? I don't know why, because it's a sin to laugh. I don't know. That, like, seriously, like, some people think that way. Some people have that mindset, you know? And yeah, I mean, granted, like, some people, like, if somebody wrote something like that about me, probably back in the day, I'd probably been like, man, this is messed up. But now, like, now, I'll say it this way: the stage I'm in right now in life, I'm at peace. I am so at peace. I don't get like when I get worked up on here, like, it's not like I sit and think about that all day. You know, when I get worked up on here, it's just like, when I'm done, I'm done. I let it go. Like, I'm at peace.
Yeah.
I don't get in big arguments with people. I'm at peace with myself. I'm at peace with others, and like, I can laugh at myself, and I can laugh at others, and I'm okay with that, you know. And because I'm very comfortable and confident in my relationship with God, that I know that seeing something like that and laughing, man, it's not that big of a deal. It's a joke. You just relax a little bit. And for me, like, that's the thing. Like, in my older age, I guess, like, I'm closing in on 40, Martin. Year,
and you're lightening up, aren't you?
1 year, yeah, I'm lightening up. You know, I actually, this is actually in my sermon this week, but I'm 1 year, 2 months, and 17 days away from being 40, and I'm thinking to myself, is this the time? Is this it when I can say whatever I want? And it doesn't matter. Like, you know how old guys, old guys, like, they're just like, they'll say like the most ridiculous things in the world and the meanest things in the world.
They're the best.
They're awesome. I was like, is
hilarious.
this the transition? Because this is going to be great. I'm going to have a good time.
No,
hey, it's not.
You don't transition at 38, bro. You got to wait till you're like 68.
68.
You got to wait another 30 years, bro.
Really?
I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying that in order to avoid all the negative repercussions that come from that, you got to be 68. Because at that point, you're like, I don't care if you fire me or not. I'm fixing to retire anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say whatever I feel like.
Okay. All right. Okay, so maybe 40 is not a good idea.
No. Maybe hold off.
Hold off a couple more years?
Yeah.
A couple
do
or
that
20?
Stuff anonymously on social media or something.
Well, you know, that's why I have this.
Yeah, do it on this. Nobody listens to it, so it's cool. No one's going to know.
People listen. Don't tell me that. People listen to it.
Hey, yeah, some people listen to it.
That's all I care about.
You listen to it, I listen to it, a couple other folks. Now, Dad failed, they'll listen to that. So
we want to hear how you guys are failing.
Get that together.
We want to hear how you guys are failing. So. All right. But yeah, I think they just can't take a joke. Take a joke already.
I just thought of my next contribution to the Bald Prophet.
You did? Good.
Yeah, I sure did. It's gonna be about the Holy Spirit inspires somebody to take a joke. So
he laughed out loud. Was it holy laughter? Oh,
it might have been.
Some could have been. Some said that. Yeah, I like that.
I like that. I'm gonna put a holy laughter reference in there.
Yeah, get some. Yeah, get the Toronto church movement and everything. Yeah. Throw some of that stuff in there. We're like, you're gonna have a good time on that one. So, I like to thank Justin for some ideas he gave me on this one. So
there you go. Hey, you should write something up and send it to Sean.
I should. I need to start writing again. I feel like I'm like, that's my thing right now. I'm doing so much like video and creative stuff that I'm like a little I love. Yeah, I'm a little burnt on, not burnt. Like, I'm not burnt out at all, but it's just like my creative juices are going to some other stuff, and so it's hard for me to kind of do that. So, but I need to get back into it. I want to start writing at least something once a week, and maybe it being, and that's the thing too. Like, I'd like to do some satire stuff and try my hand at that, and just, at the end of every, and put it on my blog and everything, get my blog active again. But then at the same time, put at the bottom of it, this is all a joke. So, but then, doing some legit ones too, some stuff that makes you think, or just funny stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Some comedy things. So I'm thinking about just trying to change my blog up a little bit and everything. So, but I need to get back into writing again. So, because I do like it. Just haven't done it in a while. I mean, I do it every week. So, but
right.
There was like this.
Why don't you publish your sermons after you deliver them? Because you have a manuscript, right? You manuscript.
Yeah, I'm manuscript.
You can publish that on your blog. There you go.
Yeah, I could. They're kind of long. I wouldn't, I might pull parts of it out, excerpts from Sunday morning. I might do that.
Yeah.
But I didn't get offered this, but I had an opportunity where I could start writing articles for a website.
Yeah.
But it was like a pop culture thing, and I think the offer still, it's like a stand-in offer. Like this guy asks all the time. It's like a chat room that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
For video games and everything. And so I was like, it's called like popnerdtv.com. And I was like, I've never heard of it, but it's just like pop culture, nerdy stuff and everything, movies, video games, comic books. And I was like, we give you an assignment every week. You gotta write, 300 to 400 words on it, do some research and everything. And I was like,
you can do that, man.
Yeah.
They give you an assignment. That makes it a lot easier. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I got to come up with something on my own to kind of be a tester. So
yeah,
but I haven't done anything like that. So I don't know what to do. So, but I might do some stuff on like this Overwatch game. I might do, the game I play, Overwatch. I might do a little article on that as a tester, just see how they like it and everything. But at the same time, it's like it's weird for me because it's another job, is what it is, But I'd be writing an article for this pop culture thing, and it's not. I mean, I don't think there's nothing really bad on the website. I didn't see anything negative or bad. It's just a bunch of nerdy stuff. I saw one article on Stranger Things, and I was like, gosh, this guy's overthinking Stranger Things so much. It's not even funny. So, like, way overthinking this, buddy. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll do something like that.
You should. I'm going to start writing for Ordinary Pastor.
Yeah?
Yep. I'm going to have a monthly thing on that.
I could do a monthly. I could do a monthly thing. I got no problem with that. So
weekly is a little much. Monthly, I can do monthly.
Yeah. So. Yeah. What do you like? How long do you got to write? How much you got to write for Ordinary Pastor?
Oh, they don't care.
They don't care.
They're just that's one of the podcasts that I listen to. Cody does interviews with folks. He interviewed me one time.
Yeah.
And he just talks to regular preachers about what they're doing and what the most important thing is for them. And what I'm going to write about is essentially how I'm leading my congregation through big changes. So mine's going to be called Little Congregation, Big Change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is that going to be the article every single month?
It's always going to focus on that.
Okay.
So I'll be talking about what I did over the month or what my plans are and how I'm initiating change in the small congregation that I serve.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah.
Elves are magical, right?
Okay.
Everybody knows this. Elves are magical.
Wait, what kind of elves are we talking about?
Little toy building elves.
We're not talking elves. We're not talking like wood elves or like
no, not that D&D stuff. Everyone knows that's
we're
fake.
not talking about them.
Right,
oh, okay, right. Yeah, obviously.
Right. We're talking about real elves, like
real
that
elves
make toys,
that
live in
make our
trees,
toys,
make cookies, that kind of stuff.
Okay, those elves. Okay,